My name is Chapman Schanefelt, and I graduated Millikin in 2018 in digital media marketing. I am from Decatur, lived here my whole life, so kind of going to Millikin was something that I always thought of might be an option, and it was actually the third school that I attended throughout my college years, but ended up there for the last 2.5 years while I was in college. And throughout that process, it was a great time, and after I graduated, I decided with my, at that time, soon-to-be fiance that we were going to open a coffee shop up here in Maroa. And her brother and sister-in-law actually own Crawford's Pizza up here and all the ones in the area too. So it was something that she'd kind of always thought of, being an entrepreneur and having that interest in her family, but it was something that I never really thought of, never really thought it was going to be an option. I thought I was going to go to some city and be in marketing or something, and decided, you know what, actually that kind of sounds fun, kind of sounds like a good idea. I actually graduated, or both of us actually graduated from high school in the area as well, from Maroa Forsyth, so it was kind of staying close to home. We knew the area really well and things like that. A lot of the businesses that happened to be affected by the pandemic and things like that at the end of, or at the beginning of last year, no one really knew what to expect, so we didn't know what was going to be put in place as far as what we were allowed to do. We had to close the inside, so all of our tables and kind of the scene of a coffee shop was kind of completely eliminated, and we had to make it to where we were a grab-and-go coffee shop, so we had to make sure that we were faster at the drinks that we were preparing. And besides that, I mean, it was really just kind of adjusting and not really knowing what was going to happen. So whether it was drinks or items, we really kept marketing and kept adding new things in to keep people interested, because without that kind of the inside of coming into a shop and hanging out, you had to do something different. So what we did was we just offered more things and just changed some things up as we went. We were actually really fortunate, and we were actually probably the most busy we've ever been within the first couple months of the pandemic. So we adjusted and were able to keep our drive-thru open, and actually opened up the inside towards the end of last year. So we definitely had our struggles within that and kind of adjusted certain things, but for the most part, we were able to stay busy and kind of saw a lot of good things happen from the pandemic. For us, and I think a lot of businesses, the biggest thing to do is to not just stop or not to give up. So for us, it was kind of like I mentioned, you had to pivot, we had to shift and do something else. And I think what the pandemic has done for a lot of businesses, it's caused business owners to think that way, especially local business owners who are really in control of everything that they're doing in general and they're the ones in charge, and they're the ones that it's their living that they're kind of really relying on in their business. So I think the biggest advice that I can give is just not to just stop what you're doing and say, oh, this isn't going to work, and just really just shift and know, hey, if this isn't going to work, maybe this will, and just kind of keep the faith in all of that. And I have some really good mentors that kind of showed us through this process, being a young business owner, and they've kind of helped us and encouraged us through the process. And I think if a lot of business owners think that way, that a lot of good things can come out of the past year, that a lot of bad things have happened in that as well. One thing that I think I really took from Millikin that I think at the time did a lot differently than a lot of other schools in the area or schools in general, was almost every single class that I took, it was all real life based. So we were going through scenarios, we were working through projects or other businesses and doing things that were actually going to apply to when we graduated, whatever that may be. So like I mentioned before, I was a graduate in digital media marketing, but I think in almost every single class I did something that had to do with entrepreneurship. We've been here since the fall of 2018, so it's been, going on 3 years this fall. So we've been here, the area is great, we love all of our customers and are having a good time doing it.